All right, folks, it's Jake here from Metal Wani, and we're here with the legendary Geoff Tate to talk about Avantasia coming to Australia on the Moonglow tour. Geoff, how you going, man?
Doing good. Looking forward to coming to Australia, actually. Haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, and it's a good tour to be a part of coming down to Australia. It's a massive show that's being brought down here. It's the Metal Opera. It's being performed exclusively in Sydney and Melbourne, and so I guess on that, how does it feel to be coming to Australia as part of such an incredible act?
Oh, well, I have to say I'm incredibly happy to be part of the Avantasia show. It's an incredible show with incredible musicians and great singers, and completely something different that I've never personally experienced before. And I'm really happy to be part of it. It's a pleasure playing this music with these people night after night. And we've honestly been having a great time in Europe right now on tour as well. And looking forward to coming to Australia. I know I am personally because I haven't been here since 2006, my own show. And so this is a real treat. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a very incredible lineup that you're coming down with. I mean, you're singing alongside the likes of Bjorn Land, Bob Catley, Eric Martin, and of course Tobias Sammet himself. So how would you describe the dynamic between the cast members for this? Not just the singers, but everyone that's up on stage. And how does it feel to have such incredible performance on your side?
Well, first of all, it's an amazing band of exceptional players who, night after night, are so consistent with their performances that it's quite amazing, really. Secondly, what's really strange for me and unique is that I'm surrounded by these amazing singers who are all exceptional at what they do. And that's really odd for me because, I don't know, I guess I've just been used to, all my life being the only singer in the band, right?
Yep.
And so this is a whole different thing. But it's a great group of people who are very supportive of each other, and we've developed through this teamwork that is very supportive. We're all watching each other, listening to each other perform, and everybody's pushing each other to perform better and better and at a higher level. And we've got this thing that we do now that is, I don't know, it's difficult to describe. But some of the people that have seen the show have told me that when the music starts, they just don't want it to end. They want it to keep going because it's a magical experience. And I have to say, although being part of it is one thing, but I really have to have a lot of respect and admiration for Toby putting all this together and making what he saw in his mind, what he imagined. He imagined this thing, and then he made it happen,
Yeah.
And so when you, as an audience member, you walk into the show and you walk into this world that he's created. And it is definitely magical, mystical. You go on a trip, and as a lot of people said, you don't want the trip to end, to keep going.
Yeah, no, and it's really interesting you saying that you walk into Toby's mind, because it's sort of a good lead into the next question I had, and that is in terms of the stage setup. It's a massive stage setup that you guys have had over in Europe, and it looks really good. Everything from the lighting to the animations that are displayed at the back of the stage and that. Is this the largest stage setup that you've been a part of?
Well, it's been part of a few gigantic productions before, but this is the largest I've been involved with in recent times. And it's really a pleasure to play in front of giant arena crowds again. I haven't done that in a long time. And then it's to play on the big stages where you have, takes you, 2 minutes to run across to the other side of the stage. That's a big stage.
Yep.
And it's a whole different way of performing, that I haven't experienced in many years. So, every night it's an extravaganza, a visual extravaganza and an audio extravaganza. The sound is amazing, and the way the songs are made and constructed, there's so much melody, and all these singers. Not only do you have all the lead singers singing, but you have 3 amazing backup singers that are also singing and supporting and doing chorus work and supporting the lead singers. And so it's a vocal, it's a vocal dream. For me as a singer, it's amazing because, you write an album or you write a song and you don't hold back, but you create this thing that's in your mind, right? And the way you want it to sound. And live, you always have to compromise because, economics being what they are, you can't afford to bring, all the background singers you need or this instrument that you need. You have to sub it up or leave it out or, that kind of thing. And so what we have here with Avantasia is everything that you hear on the record takes place live. There's nothing held back, nothing missing. It's just phenomenal. All the parts are there. Everybody's singing everything. And I don't know how to describe it any better than it's like a dream. It's amazing.
Yeah, cool. So these shows run for a massive 3-hour duration. Now, I know that as a vocalist that you're not going to be up there for the whole period, but is it exhausting being part of a 3-hour performance each evening?
The first couple shows were, I have to admit they were pretty tiring. But since the first week, we've all sort of found our pace, and now it's, we're used to it. So it's really good. The one that really, there's 2 people that have the most physical job possible, and that is Toby himself, who sings on almost every song. And it's very, very demanding vocal work that he's doing. The highest regard for his abilities and his dedication to his craft, that he just does not hold back either.
Yep.
The second person who deserves praise is Felix Bonka, the drummer. He is a powerhouse drummer, and he just is like a machine every night, laying it down. 3-hour show. Again, I think there's 2 short songs that he doesn't play on, but the rest, it's 3 hours of very demanding physical exertion. Amazing to watch.
Yeah, and I can imagine that it's sort of like running a marathon for him each night. So, yeah, no, it's interesting to hear that viewpoint. Now, I understand that you have personally set aside all of 2019 to tour Moonglow. Now, I know you've mentioned that you've decided to do this as you enjoy Avantasia, and you have a ton of fun performing with the band. But as an artist that is still chasing their own individual pursuits, was that a tough choice to make?
Not really. It was actually a nice timing situation where, I released the albums that I had been contracted to make, and I pretty much had my whole tour book on my own, and it was finishing up, and I hadn't yet booked anything in the future, so it was great timing that we had planned the Moonglow tour for 2019. It just out perfectly, and I didn't have to really cancel anything. I just didn't plan,
Yeah.
So that worked out great. And I still have a small amount of my own shows that I'm doing in June and August. It's like a week here, a week there. And I think the Operation Minecraft 30-year anniversary tour is still going on. By demand, it keeps coming back and not finishing. I thought it would be over by now. I keep getting calls from different promoters who say, please bring it. We have such demand for it. It was only going to be 12 months, long, but now it's been like 15 months in 24 countries,
Yeah.
But it takes a long time to go everywhere.
Yeah, definitely, and it's definitely something that it's good. It's good that you are getting those approaches from the promoters, and that it shows that there is still the demand there. Now, I did want to ask about this ongoing relationship that you have with Tobias. So you're touring with him and all these other awesome musicians worldwide. Do you feel like circumstances like this are a great opportunity for a touring musician like yourself to dwell into the musical territory of others and get a chance to see what magic your vocals can do?
Well, I've never really thought of it like that before. It is a wonderful opportunity. It's one that I've kind of experienced throughout my life with various bands that I've toured with. It's actually quite a gesture of camaraderie, of respect for a band to have you open to them, because they're giving you their audience, really, saying, here, you have access to my audience now. I respect that you do enough to give you that, and I've always appreciated that and not taken it for granted when I've been in that situation. And this situation with Avantasia is somewhat like that. They're inviting me into their world and saying, here, we have this thing that we do, and we like what you do, and we think it does fit well with what we're doing. Let's see how it works, And you never know. Like, you might really admire somebody's music and what they've done with their art, but then you meet them and they come on the road and just, the personalities don't gel, and, there's issues and it just feels uncomfortable. And, you never know until you try it. But this is working out really well with everybody involved. We're having a great time.
Well, that's the main thing. That's the very important.
Did I answer your question? Did I answer your question, or did I just go off on a weird tangent?
No, that answered the question. I think that's probably the best way to sort of look at it. Now, I did want to ask, so you mentioned the Operation Mindcrime, the 30-year anniversary tour, and I want to actually switch now to the trilogy of albums that you released in the name of Operation Mindcrime. So all three of those were fairly successful, but what made you want to stop that project? Was it because the project was created specifically for that concept, which ended with the final album? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was always a project, that was aimed at these three albums. So once those albums were realized and finished, it's become time to experience something else, I think. So that's kind of where I'm at now. At the beginning of something new. Yeah, well, in saying that, you do have a new project called Sweet Oblivion with Simone Mulroney. So that debut single, True Colours, it sounds great. It's a really great sounding song, and it took me back to the good old early Queensrÿche days. So what can you tell us about that album? Gosh, I think you really described it well. It's very old Queensrÿche sounding. Simone was a fan of old Queensrÿche, and the music that he presented me at first just sounded very familiar to me, and that was sort of our meeting ground on being able to work together. And so we did get together and started working and came up with the album, and it's out. I guess it comes out now, very soon in June, I think it is, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we'll do another one or a series of them. I don't know. We haven't really talked about any kind of plans like that. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with them and enjoyed the project. Yeah, no, that's cool. So, as you mentioned, the complete album coming out soon. I feel it might be the heaviest record you've done since leaving Queensrÿche. Do you feel the same?
Well, you know, that's a phrase that's always puzzled me. And I think I don't really quite know how to answer that because heavy is so difficult to describe, you know. I think it means different things to different people. To me, it's very guitar-oriented. It's really all about the guitar. The guitar takes lead center. It's got the guitar on that album is dominating over the vocals. So it's very guitar-heavy. I would agree on that.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, I've got two quick ones for you, Geoff, before we finish up here. Now, we have touched on Queensrÿche a little bit in that earlier sound, but how's your relationship with those guys now? Is there absolutely no contact between Michael, Eddie, Scott, and yourself? No, hasn't been either for years and years and years. We kind of settled all that many years ago with our court agreements and all that stuff, and it's all kind of water under the bridge to me. Yeah, fair enough. Now, I did have one sort of, I guess it's more of a pipe dream sort of idea, and obviously Chris Garmo left Queensrÿche as well and hasn't been doing, hasn't had a whole lot of, I guess, ties to the band lately. How cool do you think it would be if you were to sort of hook up and do a project with Chris?
Well, you know, we had a really good run for a period of our lives, and that ended like 20 years ago, and we've both gone on and done completely different things, you know. And so to meet up again and try to rekindle something that we had at one point isn't really something I'm able to wrap my head around, honestly. I think that we're way too far apart, you know. Interests, life experience, you name it. We're like miles apart. Yeah. But I do respect and love, you know, what we had done in the past, and you know, cherish that time of my life. I think it was a very magical time, you know. And I really feel sorry for the Queensrÿche situation being what it is now. The only original members of Queensrÿche now are Eddie, the bass player, and Michael, the rhythm guitar player. Scott's no longer in the band either, so I don't know. It's a kind of a tragedy, that whole way that thing ended up.
Yeah, and I suppose you're doing some great stuff now with Avantasia as well at the moment. So, Geoff, thank you so much for spending some time to have a chat with us today, and we look forward to seeing you when you come down to Australia as part of Avantasia early next month.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you for the interview. I'm glad we got to connect.
Yeah, thanks so much, Geoff, and enjoy your time in Spain.
Okay, I will. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
Bye now.
Bye.